Hey guys, welcome to a new video review here at ChinaMobileMag. Today we are covering the third generation of Xiaomi's entry-level phones, which is the Xiaomi Redmi 3, the small brother of the Redmi Note 3. After the wow effect was missing with the Redmi 2S, Xiaomi makes up for that with the Redmi 3 by offering specs unseen to date on a $100 device. So let's have a closer look at the phone and see how it performs. Now before we take a closer look at the Redmi 3 itself, we first check out its packaging as usual. So here it is, the box you get the phone in. It's the typical packaging design we see with all current generation Xiaomi devices. Package contents have not been changed, including a rudimentary quick start guide, a power supply, a USB cable and a SIM tray pin. Xiaomi's Redmi range used to include devices made from plastic, but after Xiaomi introduced a metal body with the Redmi Note 3, the Redmi 3 also features metal build, making it flow right with the current trend. The basic design is identical with the one found on the Redmi Note 3, just the camera and the LED flash have been moved to the upper left corner on the rear and the fingerprint scanner is missing. Something I don't quite get is why Xiaomi put that strange pattern on the metal plate on the rear. To me that looks kinda cheap, but of course that is a thing of taste, so you might have a different opinion here. Furthermore, it is kinda unfortunate that the touch buttons below the screen are not illuminated anymore, but at least there is an RGB status LED placed right below the home button. Build quality is as good as we all are used to from other Xiaomi devices. The buttons sit in place tightly and there are no sharp edges and stuff. It all is well put together. Something that could have been improved is the size. At 140 by 71.5 by 9 mm. The phone is almost as large as the current smallest 5.5-inch phablets. You see a comparison with the Elephone P9000 and the Meizu MX5 right here. The weight of 142 grams also is on the higher side for a 5-incher, but there's an excuse for that, which is the huge battery inside this phone. Screen-wise, we are looking at a 5-inch HD panel here, the exact resolution being 1280 by 720 pixels. Of course, it's an IPS/OGS screen. Colors and brightness are quite okay, and also outdoor readability is up to a good standard. Anyway, you notice that it is a cheaper panel, though moving the phone while looking at the screen you will see a slight line pattern, which often happens on cheaper panels, and also looking at it from the sides results in a significant brightness drop. Colors do not change though. The touch panel is working fine and precise. It supports up to 10 fingers at once, which is unusual on a 5-inch panel. The glass surface appears to be quite scratch proof since there are no marks after 2 weeks of usage, and the phone also has been used by other reviewers before. Something I dislike a bit is that the surface isn't quite smooth. Operating the phone on a table without holding it with one hand thus isn't possible. What's more, the surface is quite a fingerprint magnet, so you need to clean it quite often. Xiaomi moves away from Qualcomm's budget SoCs on its budget phones now and instead switches to a decent mid-range solution. In case of the Redmi 3, it is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 616, which is a faster version of the Snapdragon 615. Its 8 cores are based on the ARM Cortex-A53 architecture. 4 of them are clocked at 1.21 GHz, the other 4 at 1.5 GHz. Along the Adreno 405 GPU, this SoC is comparable to the MediaTek Helio P10 in terms of real-life performance. Unfortunately, the processor management still is as bad as on the Snapdragon 615. Almost all cores are constantly running, which results in an unnecessary amount of heat being produced even when not putting heavy tasks on the SoC. Also, the short legs everyone who ever used a Snapdragon 615 phone should know are still present here. The Redmi 3 comes with 2GB of RAM and 16GB of memory. The RAM management appears to be pretty decent, since despite the 2GB, you can easily run a sufficient amount of apps in the background. Somehow problematic, however, is the amount of memory which you can use, which is 10GB. After installing all the usual apps as well as a few games, it will be full. You can indeed use a microSD card, but that results in losing the dual SIM feature due to the combo slot. What's more, natively MIUI does not allow you to move apps to the SD card. Sensors on the Xiaomi Redmi 3 include everything important, including a magnetic field sensor and a gyroscope. The magnetic field sensor isn't quite reliable, unfortunately, which quickly became clear while doing some navigation. Since most of us know MIUI already, I won't do an in-depth walkthrough now, but just give you a few quick infos instead. Now, the Redmi 3 runs MIUI version 7.1 based on Android 5.1.1. By default, there is only the English and Chinese language available. If you want more, you need to use some custom ROM, but that requires unlocking the bootloader first. All in all, the system is running quite well and smooth. However, the typical MIUI flaws are still present, the most important one being the awfully crowded settings app, in which it is hard to find your way through. Special features such as off-screen gestures are not available. The Xiaomi Redmi 3 offers you support for GSM, 3G and LTE networks, but LTE band 20 is not supported. Signal strength across mobile networks was on a high level throughout my tests. Also, Wi-Fi does work flawlessly with very good signal, but unfortunately the phone cannot handle 5 GHz networks alias dual band Wi-Fi. The GPS performance unfortunately only is average. The antenna doesn't seem to be too good, since the phone never managed to get a fix for more than 13 satellites. Also, the signal strength of single satellites isn't very high. This results in the maximum possible accuracy being 3 meters and longer fix times compared to the Redmi Note 3. Navigation and tracking does work flawlessly though. Anyone paying attention to audio quality on a phone will be happy to hear that the Xiaomi Redmi 3 does perform nicely here. The internal speaker is surprisingly loud and does offer a decent audio quality. Through headphones, the audio quality is flawless as well, especially while using original Xiaomi earbuds along the Mi Audio Enhancer and the fully featured system equalizer. Phone call quality is very nice as well, thanks to a dedicated noise cancelling mic. Cameras inside phones get more and more important, and Xiaomi obviously are aware of that. Even in the cheaper devices they use decent camera sensors, and that isn't any different in case of the Redmi 3. The 13 megapixel main camera takes beautifully sharp images not only under daylight but also during sunset or even at night, especially when using the HDR mode. The shutter time is very short, you get your picture instantly after hitting the shutter button. Also, the focus is fast and reliable. Moving objects are also nothing the camera would have issues with. In a nutshell, the camera is pretty much amazing and much better than the one found inside the Redmi Note 3, which was a big surprise to me. The only thing I dislike is the single LED flash, which isn't very bright. Due to that, the exposure time is longer, which makes it hard to take non-blurry images while holding the phone with your hands only. Videos taken with the Redmi 3 look great. The resolution of them is Full HD aka 1080p, and they offer lots of details and gorgeous colors. What's more, the audio quality is excellent as well. Ambient noise is captured very well, yet the sounds in the focus are always in the foreground. Just check out the video demo available here on the channel to see and hear for yourself. Also, the 5-inch front camera is surprisingly good. It does take selfie-worthy shots under daylight. With bad lighting or synthetic light, the pictures do look less sharp yet still look acceptable and with very little noise. The Xiaomi Redmi 3 is a battery monster. 4100 mAh is what Xiaomi managed to squeeze inside this 5-incher thanks to a lithium polymer cell with a very high energy density. Along a very nice optimization towards low power consumption, the battery life is very impressive. The screen on time on the Geekbench 3 battery test is almost 12 hours, but real life battery life is even more amazing. While traveling and using the device heavily, I managed to squeeze out 2 days of battery life. Regular daily office use resulted in 3 to 4 days of battery life, which is absolutely outstanding. Charging the battery takes about 2 hours, which is rather fast. The only thing I don't like is that you cannot replace the battery anymore, at least not officially. It is possible though, you only need to tear the device down and remove the glue from the battery. Replacement cells are available at AliExpress. Bear in mind, however, that replacing the battery by yourself will void your warranty. Xiaomi Redmi 3 for sure is it's an extremely good budget 5-incher. The highlights definitely are performance, the amazing battery life, and that gorgeous camera, which is the best I've seen on this price range to date. The Redmi 3 is an amazing deal for the money it is sold for in China, but even for the higher price tag on international reseller shops, it remains a very good deal, being priced at around 150 to 160 bucks. I can definitely give you a recommendation on this one in case such a phone is exactly what you are looking for. The phone is available on most Chinese shops. Our sample has been provided by Trading Shenzhen. They are mainly targeting German customers, but they do ship internationally as well, so you might check them out through the link in the video description. So that's all from my side. Thank you for watching this review, and I hope you will be with me again on the next review. As usual, if you have any questions, drop a comment. The link to the shop as well as more information can be found in the video description. If you like what we are doing at ChinaMobileMag/China Devices, make sure to subscribe to this channel and pay us a visit on www.chinamobilemag.de and www.chinadevices.net. Bye bye, over and out.